2 months after taking power, Tunisian President Moncef Marzouki faces multiple challenges. His top priorities are to restore security and to solve economic and social problems in Tunisia. Euronews spoke to him in Carthage. Mr. President, thank you for welcoming us here at the Palace of Carthage, and welcome to Euronews. Dr. Moncef Marzouki, human rights activist and former opponent of the Ben Ali regime. You've experienced exile, house arrest and prison. Today, thanks to the revolution of the Tunisian people, you sit on the president's chair. Political life has both difficulties and benefits. In what ways have you now changed?
Nothing has changed, it's only my surroundings. I've not changed. I'm still the same. I've not changed my beliefs or my habits and traditions. From all that I've learnt as an opponent of the problems in opposition, now I will try to solve them while in power. It is the nature of the problems that has changed and the decor. Apart from that, everything remains the same.
If we talk of the political situation in the country, there are currently divisions within one of the political parties, Carthage, which forms the ruling coalition. Is there a dissatisfaction from those within the party who believe that another party is attempting to get hold of all the power?
What's happening within the political parties, including within Carthage, is brought to me and is part of the spirit of change that exists right now. What we fear is that the restructuring phase will take too long, or it will lead to new and undesired political situations. What we want is a strong and stable political situation that serves the interests of the country. All that being said, talk of divisions within the coalition is baseless. This is the government for only 2 months, so divisive talk is fabricated just to sell newspapers.
If I may, Mr. President, many Tunisians believe that the partnership between Carthage and Ennahda was done to begin with in order to make a political balance for the country. But now it's really Ennahda which holds political power. Are the limited powers of the president being demonstrated?
During the formation of this coalition government, we were in a position of strength, not weakness. We knew that Ennahda could not govern alone. So when we discussed the division of powers, we followed an agreement on a very clear political program, which guarantees respect for human rights, the rights of women, the rights of children and any civil rights. Then we determined the powers of the president, and I think this is what took a long time. The president is in charge of foreign policy, in consultation with the government. He's in charge of defense policy, the promulgation of laws, and I must say I am very satisfied with his powers.
Many Tunisians also think there's foreign intervention in the political decisions of the Tunisian authorities, and specifically from the state of Qatar. What do you say to that?
All I can tell you is that we take the decisions in full sovereignty. No one intervenes in the affairs of Tunisia, not even Qatar. The Qataris are willing to help, but we do not receive orders from people, not the United States, France, Qatar, or anyone.
Regarding security in the country, demonstrations and strikes continue despite your calls for a social truce. Does the government remain unable to solve the security problems that threaten the country? And is there a clear strategy to restore order?
There are probably some security issues following the demonstrations and protests. Many of these protests are legitimate due to the suffering of people who are tired because of their social situation, and we understand this. But on the other hand, there are people who just want to make trouble. With regard to this situation, the government follows a policy of discipline and mastery. Because we are born of the revolution, we are following this, so people cannot use the same methods of repression that were used before by Ben Ali, such as shooting people in the name of state sovereignty. We reject that.
Regarding the economic situation in the country, what are the concrete measures the government's taken to regain investor confidence and promote the economy, especially since the government's efficiency has been weak recently?
We need people to understand that the government has only been running for 2 months. It needs 2 or 3 years to build a strong foundation for economic renaissance. The government is now laying the cornerstone for fundamental reforms, which will see results in around 5 years. That's what people have to understand.
Christine Lagarde, the executive director of the IMF, who recently visited Tunisia, gave orders that Tunisia work on the issue of employment and investments.
She hasn't given orders.
She also proposed to lend money to Tunisia. Will you once again have to be the teacher's pet of the IMF? Is that the price that Tunisia, the country of the revolution, will have to pay to get out of its economic crisis?
No one but the Tunisian people have the right to give orders to the president, and nobody but the Tunisian people can create a government. Certainly there are financial issues, but we are a country of revolution. The economy must serve the people only. My position is clear on that, and we refuse to take direction from anyone. We make our decisions in full sovereignty and to serve the interests of Tunisians.
You've made the decision to dismiss the Syrian ambassador to Tunisia in protest against the policy of repression by the regime against its civilians in Syria. Arab countries have proposed a draft resolution condemning the Syrian regime in the Security Council, but no Arab countries taken such action. None have returned the Syrian ambassador. Do you not see this as double talk from these countries?
Faced with the savagery and repression by the Syrian regime, the question does not concern the interests of Tunisia, but above all its honor. We were the first country to have a revolution. We lead by example. We have our national pride and also a duty to help this country. But how can we help them if we are against military intervention? At least symbolically, therefore, we do not want the flag of the Baath regime raised in our country. We took this decision in honor of Tunisia and of the Tunisian revolution. This is a message to our brothers in Syria to tell them that we support them.
You're in favour of the departure of Bashar al-Assad to Russia. Do you then withdraw your call for former Tunisian President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali to stand trial in Tunisia?
If this alternative helps to stop slaughter in Syria, I am ready to accept it, even if it goes against justice. But I always say that the lives of thousands of Syrians are much more important than bringing this one man to justice.
You've mentioned on many occasions the issue of partnership with the European Union, the largest trading partner of Tunisia. What is the new Tunisian strategy in its relations with the European Union? And is there a willingness to review the agreements that appear to be unfair to Tunisia, according to several observers?
Our relations with the European Union are strong, and we seek to develop them in order to serve the interests of Tunisia. I think there is a strong will on the other side of the Mediterranean to help Tunisia, given the importance of the Tunisian revolution. The Prime Minister has recently met with European leaders, and I will do the same on my next visit to Brussels and Strasbourg.
السيد الرئيس المنصف المرزوقي رئيس الجمهورية التونسية، شكرا جزيلا لقبولكم هذه الدعوة.
شكرا.